On today's show, NHL match play, golf in Russia, and touring the Addy Zero van.
This is Score Golf, the voice of Canadian golf. Score Golf is brought to you by Molson Canadian 67, official beer of the PGA of Canada, RBC Canadian Open, and Canadian Women's Open. Tailor-made golf, the #1 driver in golf. Tourism Kelowna, 20 courses from easygoing to ego-shattering. Now, here's your host, Bob Weeks.
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Score Golf TV. Look at this, the grass is green, the flags are in. Hey, we're playing golf. Yeah, in most parts of Canada right now we are playing golf, and hopefully the start of the season has been good to you, or that you're looking forward to it and it's going to come in a very few short days. Well, here on Score Golf TV we are kicking off a new segment today that's going to run through the rest of our season, and you are going to see some of the top players in the NHL playing golf, and the fact they're going to go head to head. We're going to have our first match a little bit later in our show. But to kick things off this week, as we do every week, we're going to have a chat with some PGA Tour pros.
Prospective, meeting today's PGA Tour stars.
Mother Nature has certainly wreaked havoc this year on the PGA Tour. Along with the usual rain delays, heavy winds, fog, and snowstorms have handcuffed a number of tour events already. But as David Hearn says, the delays don't always end up at the golf course. Tour members have busy travel schedules, and even they aren't immune to the inevitable airport pratfalls that trip us all up. Players spend dozens of weeks away from home each year, only to have to endure some dreadful travel nightmares.
It's amazing, flying a lot of these commercial flights that, you can't help it with weather. If you're trying to go somewhere and there's a storm and you got to end up getting stuck and you have to spend the night somewhere. And we travel so much, and as a lot of people in the business world know, when you travel, you're at the mercy of those airlines, and I think you just have to understand that and take it as it comes.
I played a tournament in India in 2007, and I've never had to go to hospital for anything, and I slipped over in the shower and put my foot through a tile wall and had to get 8 stitches in the arch of my foot, and they didn't do an anaesthetic or anything, so they just did the stitches in the fleshy arch of my foot with no anaesthetic. So that's my worst travel story, and all that happened in India, which we drove past about 4 hospitals to get to the hospital that I went to, so I didn't know what was happening.
Maybe the worst one was I was playing in Indonesia, and I took a cab from my hotel to the golf course. The driver didn't speak any English, and we were going through kind of like a slum area, and this river in Jakarta had overflowed into these little homes. And the cab broke down right as we were going through there. We had to get out, and probably 4 inches of water. And this terrible water. You actually had to have your shirt over your nose. It smelled so bad. And here I am in my golf clothes because the cab broke down. Get my clubs out, and I have to walk to try to find this main road just to flag another cab down. But these people were looking at me like I was an alien. Here I am in my golf clothes, and they're like, I'm walking through this water, and I got clubs. I got a 3 on my back because I think for sure I'm going to get mugged. And anyways, I tracked down a cab probably within a half an hour, just kind of walking through the streets in Jakarta, Indonesia, with my clubs and 3 in my hand, and got out to the course about 5 minutes before my tee time. Proceeded to shoot about 81 or 82, and yeah, those are the early days of being a professional golfer. That was one bad story, but I've got a couple other good ones too, but that's one I can tell.
I do remember when I was playing on the Asian tour, I was trying to get out of Calcutta, India, I think, at the time, and there was no other flights to get on except Pakistan Air, and no one said you didn't want to fly Pakistan Air, and that's the only way I could get out. There was a 4.5-hour flight. I mean, what do you do? Do you stay there to another 2 or 3 days, or what do you do? So I got on it and said my prayers, and here I am right now.
The worst thing is these connections and losing your clubs. That's happened to me a few times. You get to the other side and you want to get a practice round in that afternoon, your clubs are not there, they arrive 2 days later. That's probably the worst thing. That's happened to me quite a few times, even flying down to South Africa. And the other day flying to Qatar from America via Frankfurt. You know, we landed there. 2 hours later I was on my connecting flight, and the next moment it started snowing and ice and everything, and they closed the airport. So I managed to get out there a day and a half later. So I arrived there just in time for the Pro-Am. So that was one of the longest trips it's taken me to get to a golf tournament.
Coming up after the break, a cool match play between two NHL greats.
The tee off season is brought to you by Molson Canadian 67, proud sponsor of golf and the official sport of the Gaia.
Here's today's match featuring a couple of Leaf legends. Let's first meet Wendell Clark.
I've been golfing forever. Probably took a 10-year window there when back problems and health issues between 15 and 25, played ball. Started golf when I was a kid, two-way putter. I was the only left-hander. No right-handed golf clubs out in Saskatchewan where I'm from, so I had a two-way putter till I got a left-handed set handed down.
His opponent today is Jeff O'Neill, who is featuring some rather bright slacks.
I'm Jeff O'Neill, retired hockey player. I played 12 years in the NHL, both for the Carolina Hurricanes and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm a scratch golfer, unfortunately not when I first tee it up in the springtime after putting my clubs away for 6 months, and I'm looking forward to playing against Wendell Clark today.
Well, here it is. It's our first Score Golf match play of the season, and we have a dandy for you. This is the battle of the first rounders here. Jeff O'Neill, Wendell Clark, both former Leafs, both now with more time to golf than to play hockey. You don't have to worry about that anymore, so I'm expecting big things. Jeff, what do you think you have to do to beat this guy over here?
Well, I think the odds are stacked against me. First off, I'm playing one of my childhood heroes, so I don't know how comfortable I'm going to be beating him. And the second thing is he can't beat me up. I know that for a fact, so the odds are definitely stacked against me.
Wendell, what are you going to have to do here to try and beat this guy?
Well, he's the golfer out of all us hockey players, so I'm hoping because it's home course advantage here, I get home ice advantage a little bit, but I know how he can finish.
Yeah, it is a home game for you. Okay, here's the rules. 3 holes, match play. If we're tied at the end of 3 holes, there's going to be a little bit of a chip off, and we're playing for some beautiful prizes, so go all out here, boys.
Sounds good.
All set.
We're playing at Club Link's Kings Riding Golf Course just north of Toronto, and the first hole we're going to play is a tricky par 3. O-Dog has the honor, and he's got an 8-iron. He is going to try and cut it into this hole.
Gotta go.
And a nice safe shot to the middle of the green, about 20 feet.
Starting off in the middle of the green, eh?
Wendell up next, and let me tell you folks, this guy is strong. Nearly broke my fingers when we shook hands.
Clarky.
Going with a pitching wedge. His house, by the way, is right beside this tee. And that's a dandy. Hit it to about 6 feet, so the advantage goes to the former captain. Well, 2 good shots here. Jeff, I think you're away. You're going to need this putt, I think.
When you're playing in competitive golf, and I've played in lots of club championships, it all comes down to putting. Just like the PGA Tour, they all hit it the same, but it comes down to the putter and who can make the most putts.
Okay, roll it in. Oh, that's got to hurt. Just curling over the edge. That leaves Wendell with a chance for the win.
Gotta get there, and I'm not getting there.
Nope. So O-Dog escapes with a half. On to the 13th, a tight short par 4 that will test the accuracy of the fellas. O'Neill has selected a fairway wood, and that's headed down the right side. Same club for Wendell. And both guys are in good shape.
Should be okay, Wendell.
Stay there. I have about 150 yards left, anywhere from a wedge if I'm downwind or an easy 8, I guess, decision making. This is where my golf game gets in trouble, decision making.
And that shot is headed right and a bit long in danger territory.
Ugh. Not good.
And O'Neill with just 125 yards left, a wedge in his hands.
Good. Get down. Get down.
Safely on the green.
Should be good.
All right, Wendell, you managed a half on that first hole against the big guy, but you're in tough here.
I'm in tough. I got to get it really tight, and he's good. Anywhere on the green, he's a one-putt guy.
How's your chipping game?
We're going to find out. There's a lot of snowbanks left on my knuckles right now.
Okay, get it close.
Sit down.
Sit down.
Not too bad, Clarky.
All right, Jeff, if you make this putt, win the hole, you can tweet about it too. O-Dog is a prolific tweeter, loves to get his thumbs tapping on the keyboard.
It looks pretty good. Get there. Oh,
And that putt is conceded by Wendell very generously, if you ask me. And now he'll need to hold this for a half.
Dead straight.
Good try, Clarky.
Jeff, up one, last hole. Wendell, you got to make it happen here. What do you have to do? This is a pretty tricky little hole here.
You know what? I got to get it tight on that. I got a bit of a nice one out there in the first, and then put it tight because I watch him putting, and I've let him get off the hook here in the first hole.
Yeah, you've been pretty generous with the gimmies as well there, I thought, in the last hole. But
Come on, Bob. I made it.
you're going to close him out here, no doubt?
Yeah, golf's an interesting sport. Anything can happen. So when you got somebody down, you got to take advantage of it because if you let them back in, anything can happen.
All right, go do it. Well, the boys hit their drives down the right side and ended up landing within a few feet of each other. O'Neill will be the first to play. He is staring it down, and he's going to like that one right in the heart of the green.
Good shot.
Thank you.
Wendell now, not a long shot, but he definitely has the pressure on him. And that is going long,
Oh, stay there.
and he'll have a tough one left.
A flyer.
Yep, it was a flyer, and now he's got a nearly impossible shot remaining.
Oh,
Wendell knew he needed that chip in there, and not a bad try at it. O'Neill has the match by the throat now.
Oh, that's got to go.
Oh, he opened the door a bit, Wendell. It's not done yet. And Wendell's showing he still knows how to stick handle. Oh, just slipped by. Misses that one.
how dare you go where I aim?
And now O'Neill won't miss.
boom, there it is.
Nice.
Congratulations, boys. Well, guys, great match, and Wendell, unfortunately, came out in the short end.
Yeah, conditioning. I can't blame conditioning. We only played 3 holes.
Maybe your conditioning, yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're not out of shape, no, but anyway, it was a good match. You held on there against a pretty good player here. Jeff, congratulations. Look at this. I know you didn't win the Stanley Cup, but here you go. This will make up for it.
I like golf trophies better than hockey trophies. Being retired, I love this stuff.
And the other thing you get is you get to go to the TaylorMade Mat Fitting Center, and you're going to get to go through the whole performance thing. They're going to line you up with a new set of new drivers, some new gear. And I don't know if you've been through that before, but it's pretty exciting, pretty special. I mean, not that you need any help for your game.
Well, I love TaylorMade. I've played their clubs for a long time, so I'm really going to enjoy that. Thanks very much.
All right, thanks, guys.
After this break, we'll introduce you to the Russian national golf team. Well, back in the 50s and the 60s, the Russian hockey system learned from the Canadians, and they became world beaters. And now they're doing the same thing in golf. Now that golf is an Olympic sport, the Russians are learning from the Canadians in hopes that they can produce some quality players that will end up in the Olympic Games. Let's have a look now at how Canadian coaches are helping out Russian golfers. When Canadians think about sports in Russia, one thing likely comes to mind: hockey. While many 16 and 17-year-olds are dreaming about playing in the KHL or the NHL, there's a new group of Russian athletes dreaming about hitting the links and becoming stars on the European or PGA tours. Right now, they're training in Orlando, Florida, out of the Canadian-owned and operated SCOREGolf Academy.
They're very dedicated. They're extremely hard workers, maybe even a little too hard at times. You've got to teach them how to rest and relax a little bit. But the Russian Golf Association became more interested in golf when the Olympics added it as a sport. And that's why they formed their national team, and they're working towards that in 2016.
Russia's always been a competitive nation at both the Winter and Summer Olympics. With orders from the Kremlin, winning at golf is now a priority.
All the Olympic sports are very important for Russia, and of course the government supposed Russian people participate in the Olympic Games, maybe 2020, 2024, and potentially get some medals in the future.
But winning an Olympic medal is a distant dream right now, as the Russians don't even have a single player ranked inside the top 1,500 in the world.
We have some scratch golfers, amateurs, which are really good compared to maybe Eastern Europe, average for the rest of the Europe, and yeah, we have to practice more and more to be successful in the States, because the level in the States is much more higher than in Europe, in Russia.
Right now, the Russian dream lies in the hands of 17-year-old Russian amateur champion Vladimir Osipov.
I hope that I will play in Olympic Games. I try to improve my shot game because I had some problems last year, and now it's became better and better. I tried to be like Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods.
Of course, the players and coach work out of the SCOREGolf Academy, which means they get a first-hand view of Sean Foley, the game's leading coach.
I was completely impressed by Sean Foley. Even all the guys, so experienced, so educated, and can get the right spot, see what any particular player needs to improve his game. So we had a chance to saw some players practicing with Sean, which was a great experience for me as a coach and for my players as well.
Regardless of how important golf has become to Russia, hockey will always remain as the most important sport in their nation.
We do have an ongoing joke with the Russian players about hockey, and unfortunately we lost in the silver medal game and the bronze medal game in the World Championships to Russia, so they got a little dig there, but I'm pretty sure we'll have a good street hockey game before the year's over.
I'm outside here at TaylorMade Adidas Golf's Canadian headquarters just north of Toronto, and behind me, as you can see, well, you can't miss it in fact, is the bright yellow Adidas Golf Mobile Tour Truck, which shortly is going to embark on a cross-country tour, allowing you, the customer, to come in and check out the product. Now, let's go inside ourselves for a closer look. Matt, really cool truck you've got going on here. Why don't you tell us really what the purpose of this truck is?
You come to the trailer, we've got two product specialists, sport reps that are very much engaged as product specialists for the technologies, the styling, the features and benefits of the product lineup that we have for 2013. You have the opportunity as a customer to come on and try some of the product on. Make sure that it fits right for your swing, for your golf game.
Okay, so speaking of product, we have the Addy Zero shoe, which I think every viewer has seen already. It's been everywhere. Why don't you just give us a quick rundown of that, but also some of your other products here.
Absolutely. The Addy Zero golf shoe for 2013 is a newly launched product that really changed the way golf is going to look going forward. It's extremely lightweight. As a matter of fact, it's 40 to 50% lighter than traditional golf shoes. What that does, it saves a lot of weight, but it also allows the golfer to have a little bit more energy by the end of the round. Think of all the golf steps that you take in an average round. There's a lot of energy saved when you're talking about 40 to 50% lighter product in the golf market. Spikeless category, a huge category in the golf marketplace. Obviously, the Addy Cross brings a lot of those Adidas styling elements that only we can bring to the marketplace in a golf shoe like this. And we're really excited about the way this is looking, as well as the technologies and the flexibility and the opportunity to really bring something new and different to the marketplace with Addy Cross.
Maybe you could just give us in general terms where the truck is going to be going and how people can find out more information.
Absolutely. It's going to hit major cities across the country, really. Calgary, Edmonton. It's going to work its way back through the prairies and come to the GTA and actually hit Montreal as well.
And from what I understand, culminating this tour at a pretty marquee event itself in Canada, the RBC Canadian Open. Yeah, it will culminate at the RBC Canadian Open, and be there for the 7 days to allow the patrons to actually get engaged with the brand and the product at that time of year, which is still a pretty significant part of the year in July. Best way to check out where this is going to be is definitely go to our website. All dates will be posted there, and we hope to have a great opportunity to get in front of customers and energize them with some great new product for 2013.
Around the corner, we'll look at what Golf Canada is doing to prepare for the 2016 Olympics. Back in 1904 was the last time that golf was in the Olympics, and a Canadian, George S. Lyon, won. Yes, he won the Olympic gold medal and this beautiful trophy that now sits in Golf House out at Glen Abbey Golf Course. Well, now in 2016, golf is going to come back into the Olympics, and that means it's part of the Own the Podium program. Yes, the Canadian Olympic system is putting some weight behind it and trying to help Canada get back on the podium when golf returns to the Olympics.
Teeing up Team Canada, reviewing Canada's national golf program. Brought to you by RBC. Let us help you make your mark.
With golf at the Olympics in 2016, Golf Canada now is officially on the radar of Own the Podium. Its goal is to identify the greatest medal potential of amateur athletes while creating high-performance programs. And Golf Canada is doing exactly that to prepare for the upcoming Olympics. The format for the golf competition will see 60 men and 60 women compete in 4-round stroke play. The entrants will be based on the world rankings, with the top 15 on the list getting in. Excluding those players, the next 2 top-ranked golfers per country will round out the field.
In order to be successful at the highest levels, you need to have a pool of athletes. So we've got what we call our high-performance junior strategy in place, and we're working to first identify the players that kind of are showing performance characteristics. The second one is, what are we doing for them? What kind of training, what kind of coaching, what kind of events are we putting them in? So it's a whole plan on how to develop our future generation national team players, which then in turn would be our future elite PGA Tour or LPGA Tour players. If we can have success, if we can have a player in the final group at the Olympic Games, if we can have a player in the final group in any of the majors, we know that inspires youth, and we've seen it through proof, through the Olympic Games. You don't see as many people taking up speed skating as you do after a Winter Olympics, and that's because of the success of the Canadian speed skating team. Now, if we could have that same effect and create golf heroes, we're going to get more people playing the game, more young kids wanting to get involved in the game, and it's absolutely key for us to have success at the highest level.
Week Speaks is brought to you by Bushnell, makers of the Pro 1M and Tour Z6 rangefinders.
Well, seeing the Russians trying to prepare their team for a shot in the Olympics in 2016 in Rio kind of reminds me of when curling got in the Olympics. Stay with me here on this one. A lot of people are pointing to the fact that golf being in the Olympics is going to be a savior for the sport. It's going to bring in all sorts of new people who are going to come in and play golf and give a lot of boost to the game all over the world, especially in parts of the world where golf perhaps isn't really one of those sports that comes top of mind. Well, back in 1998, curling got in the Olympics, and the same thing was hoped for, the same thing was expected. Unfortunately, that didn't really happen. In fact, in most cases, what's happened is the governments have poured a lot of money into trying to get 1 or 2 teams, maybe 20 curlers total, to playing very, very good and making them capable of playing in the Olympics. The grassroots development didn't happen. So golf has to be very careful and perhaps take a page from curling. If this Olympic boom is really going to help the game, they've got to start working on it now. They've got to start making courses accessible in a lot of different parts of the world. They've got to start getting people at the grassroots playing the game and then feed that up, and that will drive their Olympic programs, just like the Russians are going to have to do, hopefully, when they get into the games in 2016 or further down the road. That's it for this week on Score Golf TV. Hope you enjoyed our show. Hope you enjoyed everything that we have to offer here at Score Golf. Of course, there's our website at scoregolf.com, and don't forget to listen to my radio shows broadcast right across the country on the station near you. That's it for this week. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching Score Golf on TSN, the voice of Canadian golf. Score Golf is brought to you by Molson Canadian 67, official beer of the PGA of Canada, RBC Canadian Open, and Women's Canadian Open. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. Bob Weeks Clothing supplied by Ashworth.